snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Salomon Dancehaul. This board features Salomon's Rock Out Camber Profile, which is basically Camber 2.0, so it's flatter in the middle, comes down into a rocker in the tip and the tail. It's a little bit more directional, so basically it's directional cam rocker, and what you get is ease of entry in and out of turns from that rocker, as well as more optimal powder float. And then the camber profile in itself is also easier to load up, which is going to give you that drive and snap from the center of the board back. This board is available in 143, 147, 152, and 157. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was a mix of blue skies, gray skies. There was fresh snow, colder temps, you had chopped chunder, you had crusty pow, you had perfect corduroy, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This board has around a middle of the road all mountain freestyle flex, and by around I mean it's probably a little slightly softer than a full middle of the road, and it's also directional in nature, which means a softer nose, progressively stiffening back up to the tail with a lot of torsional flex. You can really just twist this board, and with it being so directional in nature, it kind of makes sense that it would be softer in the nose. When it comes to stability, that nose gets a lot of chatter. It does resonate back underfoot, and then that center section where the abundance of camber is still very lively. Keep your knees bent because you're going to feel everything. If you try to charge into a chowder field, you're going to get bucked around if you're not prepared for it. The tail, slightly stiffer than the nose, slightly more stable, so you can really get out on it if you need to, but by and large, it's not the most stable board out there, but it's wide enough, and just the shaping and the camber profile kind of works that if you know what you're doing, you shouldn't get bucked around. If you don't, well, you're probably going to die, and it's one less person on the hill. This board has one of the easiest camber profiles to actually load up and then just give you pop. So when you load up that camber section, it activates that rocker and you just spring right off the tail. It's very skate-like. You never really feel like you're aggressively loading it. And the beauty of that is you can launch off everything, whether it's a fallen over skier, a side hit, a pillow popper, it doesn't matter. This board wants to pop. It's easy to get in the air. Now when it comes to jumps, there are some limitations. Small to medium-ish jumps are probably where you really want to keep it. If you're going to the bigger stuff, it's just too soft, too directional. It's got a little too much rocker in that tail. You're gonna end up washing out. But those medium and smaller jumps, it snaps off the lip. You're gonna be able to catch air. You don't really have to worry about it. It's a party board, and it's a party board that wants to pop. So turn those little jumps that you're hitting into weird features. Hit them kitty corner, do shit like that. I don't know, knuckle butter, whatever you're doing with it. Pop off of them. Get weird, basically. This board wants to spring off everything you have, so utilize it. This board is so butterable. You've got that longer nose with that rocker section out in there. You can just get your weight out on it, really press into it, swizzle and sizzle. You don't have to worry about it. You can pop a 180, just lock it in, it's gonna snap right back up. With the tail, you're basically sitting on the outside of your binding, going sideways with it, and once again, it just locks in. If you know how to butter, this board is super butterable. If you don't, well, you should probably learn, because this board is super butterable, and if there's no hope for you, I don't even know why you're watching this review. You should just get out of here. You know who you are. Now when it comes to jibbing, due to that longer nose, you've got more surface area just to lock in a nose press, and it locks in, and when you hit the end of the feature, you're able to just pop right out of it and not worry about it. With the tail, you're basically sitting right on your binding, just outside it, leveraging it, and it locks in that tail press. When you go sideways between the bindings, you got that camber section that's just gonna cradle the feature, because this board's soft. It's perfect for it. Like, it's just gonna cradle right around. It's not gonna clap out, but it's gonna cradle around, and you're not gonna have to worry about it. With this board having a radial side cut, and in my opinion this is Salomon's best side cut, you can carve with this board. You don't have to worry about it. It's easy to engage off the front foot, but all the power derives from inside the back foot through the tail. So if you really want to crank it and lay it over, you're going to disengage that front foot, drive that back knee into the center of the board, and it's just going to whoop through that carve. You can lay trenches with this thing, or you can be surfy and just sort of cruise from one side of the trail back to the other and never really worry about it. Short, tight, quick setup carves, long, hard, drawn out carves. It's good. The limitation is with the actual flex of this board. If you're a heavier rider, a more aggressive rider, yeah, you can push it to the limit and maybe get the tail to kick out. I haven't had that problem, but I also know right where the line is to take this board to and not go past it. Hopefully you do as well, because if you do, you're gonna have fun with this thing. Who's this board for? The party boarding all mountain freestyle guy. Did I honestly need to ride this board? No, nothing's changed with it, but it's still such a hot ticket board. People are gonna ask why there isn't a current year review, so that's why you're getting it. It was nice to take this into some deeper POW. I just wanted to see how that actually rides, really push it to its limit, and it worked well. It floated well, it was super good in the trees, and that's what I wanted to see. I just really wanted to test it in some tighter trees. Worked out great. At the end of the day, this board's fun. It's just a party board that you can kind of do everything with. Comparable boards, the Telos Backslash, the Ride Warpig, the K2 Party Platter. Binding recommendations, the Salomon District Team Pro, the Ride C6, the K2 Lean AT. This has been my review of the Salomon Dancehaul. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you gonna buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications, that way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.